We're live. Bear with me, everyone. I just want to go on YouTube and get the pop-up chat. So we will get the pop-up chat. Hey, Willie. We'll get the pop-up chat real quick, and then I will go back in. So give me a second. Talk amongst yourselves for a few minutes. I just want to get the pop-up. That way I can see everything you're talking about, and I can talk back to you. So give me a second. All right, there's the YouTube. And let's see. Come on. All right, there's the YouTube. There's the pop-up chat. Let's see. Minimize that. Come on. Get rid of that. Hold on. Stanley, Drifty, James. This episode is sponsored by James because he couldn't have a good night if I didn't do this. So, James, this one's for you. All right, pop-up chat. Let's see, here we go. So I can see you guys. Pop-up chat's a lot easier to use. And thanks to all the guys who showed me how to use pop-up chat. All right, let me get the link. And let's see. There is the link. So if anyone wants to join up, who do we got? We got Drifty, Stanley, James, and Willie, and everybody. So there is the link for whoever wants to join. I see Pate's just put up a video. So maybe they'll come on board. They just put one out maybe 10 minutes ago or 5 minutes ago. My friend, brother Craig Timmons, he put up a video. So hopefully you guys check out Craig Timmons' channel. He was talking about that 4 horsepower Tecumseh ventilation fan that the fire department uses. He just finished a carburetor rebuild on that. So go check Craig Timmons out. Anyone who wants to join the stream, just click on the link I put up there, and I'll take a look at you in the basement, and I'll click you up. So what's everyone working on tonight? Anybody working on anything? Busy week. Thursday night this week is my Friday. But Stanley, I don't care about teeth, right? Whoever wants to come up, we're just here for having some fun. That's all we're here for. Most of the time, it's a small engine chat. Other times, it's about who knows what. The virus that's going around, the weather. Doesn't matter. It's just a fun chat. It's a way for people who subscribe to my channel to see me and see who I am. And if they want to talk, if they got a problem with a small engine or whatever. Hey, Maddie. And, whoever wants to come up can come up. And we just talk about whatever. Doesn't matter. There's Will. Will usually comes up. What's going on, Will? So I see some of the regulars. As I said, this episode's sponsored by James Faust. Anyhow, busy week this Thursday. Today is my Friday, technically, because we work every other Friday. And I already have a lot of stuff lined up to work on tomorrow. The grass is growing. People are calling. It's just been a crazy week. Work everywhere. It's just been crazy busy. Not time to do anything. So tomorrow I have to pick up a Weed Eater tractor, which is actually a Husqvarna tractor in green badging. So I got to pick that up tomorrow to get that fixed. I already got a guy bringing in a bunch of stuff. So my garage will start to look like Will's garage with all the stuff from customers pretty soon. What's going on, Will?
Not much. Actually, busy day today. Plus it's work, and I got 3 pieces of equipment that were picked up.
There you go. Hold on, Maddie's coming up. All right, hold on. There's Maddie. Hold on. Yep. All right, there you go. Oh, Maddie, you look like a sunburst. Yep, that's better. What do you got in the garage, Will? Anything good?
Right now, I was tinkering around with that 345. I got that pretty much all apart now. I'm waiting for the metal intake clamp and a carb kit for it.
You doing all stock?
Yeah, it's a customer's saw, so.
No 346 XP.
But I'm just, yeah, just gonna kind of get
right
it
here.
running for them, and then do the preventative metal clamp and everything on it.
I think Maddie's got a clutch tool for you.
Okay.
Who's got
Just
YouTube
take the
on? Somebody
socket
got YouTube on.
and grind it, and then hit it with the
Okay.
impact. And when you impact it, you gotta have a piece of nylon rope in the spark plug hole. You can't use anything else. Use nylon rope in the spark plug hole for a piston stop, and then hit the clutch with the impact, and it'll come right off.
I used a hard piston stop one time, not on
Okay.
a good
What
saw.
size
It actually blew a
socket,
hole in the
Matt?
piston.
Well, I
Say again?
don't remember. You have to check and see what fits, but you can measure the clutch, and you'll see exactly what fits. Once you have the right size, because I don't have a 350 in here. Hang on. There might be a couple sizes that fit. That's the thing, and I actually have a couple of those tools that I made.
It's probably like 15, 16, 1 inch, something like that.
I'll just I got my my digital cat. I'll just measure the measure the clutch.
But here's like 346 here. Sorry, not 346. This is 372 that I made,
Okay.
and this is 262 XP that I made. So, hang on. I've got a. I've got it here. Hang on. Just have to move Ken's tachometer out of the way. Ken, your tach takes up too much room in my bucket here.
It's just trying to get used. It's lonely, Matt.
Here. Okay, so this one is 11/16. Half-inch drive for the impact. And it was 11/16, but it's the outer diameter that I think really makes the difference. This was like a 12-pointer too. Might have been a nice socket. Who knows? I don't know.
I think it froze up on me.
I
I
froze
still
up.
hear you.
You still hear me?
Hold on.
Are we good?
I
Matt,
can hear
you're fine.
you.
Hold on.
and I can hear you. I can see and hear you, Matt and Ken. But my little thing, you just got the loading thing.
All right, let me
okay.
kick you out and kick you back in.
All right.
Hold on a second. Here comes somebody else. Hold on. All right. Let's see. Hey, Chris.
I hope Chris likes sockets. We're talking sockets.
Oh,
Hey, Will, I'm
My,
going to kick you out for a second and then come back in, okay?
well, I joined at just the right time. I hope they're 10 MMs.
Oh, where's everybody? Oh, here
You
comes.
want a 10 millimeter
Where
socket?
everybody's
I got
favorite.
10 millimeter sockets.
The ones we always
Okay,
lose.
mine one.
Favorite.
Oh, there's Mr. Craig. Craigie, join the stream.
Oh, look, a 10 millimeter socket. Deep
And you know
socket
where
even.
they are. Now, a man who doesn't lose his 10 millimeters, that's what I like.
I lost 4 of them this weekend.
9, 11.
I'll literally go to the store and buy 4 or 5 at a time. Seriously.
Oh, my.
I'll put them in each of my toolboxes and then I'll still lose them.
Well, you know what? I want to place a dollar bet before dear Mick loses his out of his new kit. What do you guys have?
What was the video you guys just put up, Chris?
Well, the mister's up showering, but that's a sensitive subject because he literally, I don't know about you guys, but the internet has just been like sluggish here.
Yep.
Uploading videos is just taking forever. Not just in our house, but just all over. I mean, everybody's just everybody's online,
Yeah.
And I try to tell my little mullet damsel in distress to have some patience. But that video has been uploading since last night, and it just finally went on. So
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Even now, you guys, once in a while, I'll see you stop, start, stop, start. But I got enough bars and everything. But like you said, the bandwidth, everybody's on. So.
Yep. I mean, you just see what it's like trying to teach during the day. I mean, it's a joke, and you're trying to teach, and the kids are going in and out, and it's hard.
Well,
but
you talk about that, Chris. My daughter, the one who teaches up in New Haven, funny story. They handed out all the Chromebooks to the kids to use. She has 16 students, I believe. They didn't unlock any of them, so it will only read the internet at school, not at home.
No. Oh my.
Yeah. So now they're trying to call every individual parent to give them codes to unlock it, so it'll recognize their home Wi-Fi and not just the schools.
Oh, that's a pain in the rear end.
Yeah.
Oh,
So she's been trying to talk to these kids, like, why aren't you doing your homework? And they're like, it's not working.
Yeah,
And then she found out after about a week or so, it was the computers.
Yeah, I mean, we've had a couple of the typical issues. I mean, we had firewalls up for YouTube and whatnot, and the kids found their way around it, so we had to put some new firewalls up. But no big issues like that. That's a big one.
Sure, they couldn't even log on. It's amazing though how you said firewalls and stuff. The kids can get through it like they're techs,
I hate to tell you, it wasn't even our high school kids. It was on the elementary level.
I believe
They're
it.
smarter than the high school kids.
I believe it.
Yeah.
These kids are born with it.
It comes naturally, absolutely. So
Maddie, what are you doing over there?
I'm trying to figure out how to put this on speakerphone because for some reason, I all of a sudden it thinks it's on a call. When I'm doing this, for my phone thinks it's on a call, and it switches back and forth. Maybe I'll take Bluetooth off. Let's see what happens there.
Craigie, you say you're in
different?
your PJs. I'm not going to tell you what I'm in underneath this, so that's okay.
Oh, speaking of that, funny. There was, I think it went live like all over Maryland, was it? It was viral. Teachers in a meeting today, and a gentleman teacher who got up thinking his screen was off in his skivvies.
Oh, no kidding. That's
Yeah. It's just safer to be fully clothed when you're teaching online.
Well, it's funny. We're talking about guys at our place that are allowed to work at home, engineers and so forth. And one of the guys' wives put a picture of him on Facebook saying, "This is what you're paying 150 grand for a year," and he's got his PJs on. It shows him hard at work, but with the PJs on.
Oh my. Aw. Yeah, no, I mean, we've had some pretty early morning meetings, and I mean, I've gone on like, makeup free and whatnot. I mean, I don't wear a ton to begin with, but the big one was one morning I'm running, on to jump on because they called like an emergency meeting, and for a woman, you want to make sure the brazier's on, so that's a problem. But so far so good. But yeah, it's just some long days. I never thought I'd say, but I truly this is for the birds doing this from home. So
Hey, Will.
but
Hey, got it working again.
Can you hear us, Will?
Yes.
There you go. Uh-oh. You got your speaker on, Matt?
I can hear you guys, but you're really, really low.
Oh.
So I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how to fix this. But
Did you take your Bluetooth off, Matt?
Bluetooth is off. The phone thinks it's on a call, but it's not on a call, so I can't actually adjust it for whether it's on speakerphone or not. So it's coming out the regular earpiece speaker rather than out the speakerphone speaker, as far as I can tell. Anyway, whatever, doesn't matter. I see you guys fine.
And the truth is, we just like
Oh.
watching your hands, Matt. I'm kidding.
Clean dental hand.
Clean
Eat your heart out, Chris. There they are.
What do you got on the table?
So actually, I wanted to show everybody an interesting mystery that I solved tonight. I was out. I posted this on OPE forum. I was out in the shed, and I was looking for parts that I was going to sell, and there's one guy that wanted some parts. So I was looking for stuff, and I'm like, oh, I got a 288 flywheel that I can sell, and here's the 288 flywheel. So with a nut and washer and everything, but whatever. So I looked on the back of it, and there's a number stamped on the back, the part number, 5018023, and it says version 2, V2. So I looked at that, and I said, oh, okay. And I went, and I'm like, I really wonder if that's 288. It probably is, and I don't usually screw stuff up because this is in my 288 box. So I went to look up the part number, and to be honest, it was kind of hard to look up. So I was like, what the heck is going on? So I was out in the shed, and I wasn't like really thinking. I'm like, I went over to my 394 box, and the 394 and the 288 flywheels are not supposed to be compatible. Same crank, but different flywheels. So I look on my 394 flywheel, and guess what's stamped on the back?
Same number.
Nice.
The same thing. The same number. So I said, well, wait a minute. That again, they're not supposed to be the same. Something is off. What's going on? So I tried looking up the part number, and it was really darn difficult to look up. There because 288 and 394. If I looked at the part number, it would show up on eBay as that, and it was weird. So normally there's an 01 or an 02 or an 04 or whatever it is at the end of the part number indicating a version. I think of the part number, and this one doesn't have it. So what I didn't know was that the actual part number is stamped on the side. 501802201. That is the correct part number for a 288 flywheel.
You getting
And
this, Chris?
the 394 flywheel is
I'm taking notes.
503634001. Yeah, you're going to be quiz later, Chris.
I'm on it. I'm
Good.
taking notes now, Matt.
So anyway, so indeed they are different, but this number on the back is irrelevant. It means nothing. It's just stamped on there. But what really means the difference is the one that's actually on the side. I didn't know that. That's something new. Figured that out today. It was a bit of a mystery too. So there's my mystery of the day.
Yeah, a lot of times, Maddie, we'll cast in tool numbers into the casting, and then we'll modify to whatever versions or whatever we want, or laser etch or stamp or whatever.
Right. If you look, so I pulled out my brand new OEM 394 flywheel, which by the way you can't get anymore, and it's stamped identically. It's an identical stamp here. Forgive me. This is actually cast in. This is stamped. That's cast in.
You might want to look at some other ones, Maddie, because it may
Will,
be
you were
3 or
saying
4 iterations. That casting may be across the board on 3 or 4 or even 5 different flywheels, and then machined and assembled for different iterations. And then the other number stamped on the side.
Yeah, I assume the magnets are different or something in the 288 one. I think the magnets are different, or the timing's different in the 288 rather than the 394, but I'm not sure of that. I was just told that they are not compatible.
Mm.
So
Yeah, I check a few just to see if the casting number on
but I
them
did
show-
check. I have 3 flywheels. I have 3 flywheels, 2 for 394 and 1 for this, and they do have an identical casting on the back. So, how's that for interest?
All right, Will's turn. What do you got going on, Will?
I did measure the
Will's turn.
okay. I measured the that inside there on that
I can't hear Will.
clutch.
Anyone else can't hear him?
I can hear him, but you got an echo. Will, your YouTube's not on, is it?
No. Let me just turn my volume down, maybe.
All right. Yeah, because you got an echo.
Yeah, something's wrong, Will.
How's that? Nope, can't hear you now.
I can take notes, Will, if I can't hear you.
Oh, I don't know. Hold on, let me
Hey, Maddie,
Something-
have you
something
been able
here.
to get more parts in or no?
Ken, while Will's figuring that out, Ken, did I show you the lithium batteries for my DeWalt series?
No, what did you get, aftermarket?
So these are like the regular. This takes. So yeah, this takes the regular 18-volt XRP batteries, which I have a bundle of, but they're all dying. So I found these on Amazon, $70 for 2 of them. They're actually lithium. They're aftermarket. They fit, and they light up. And I used one yesterday. It works great.
How's it last?
They charge in the same charger and they work great. Yeah, well, we'll see how long it lasts, but I'm definitely for the money, it's a whole lot better than sending them out because I've got a bunch of them that are dead that are sitting that way.
Yeah,
over there.
Just the Milwaukee battery.
I
I have
to send them out and get them re-batteried is like $50 a shot.
Wow.
Hmm.
Yeah, my 5 amp hour Milwaukee battery is about $120 just for the one battery.
Yeah.
But I haven't charged it in 6 months.
You know what it is? We've got so many Milwaukee pieces around here that he's always got like one charged on backup. He'll also get like a piece from Craigslist. And you know, sometimes they'll sell like, selling a piece with 2 extra batteries. Like, so he's always got some charging up in the background, but he's a Milwaukee fan when it comes to all that. He's even got me with the Milwaukee vacuum, the handheld vacuum.
Mm-hmm.
I love
a lot
that
of good,
thing.
lot of good stuff.
That thing is
You
great.
want to try it again, Will?
Yeah. Is that better?
It's better. It's just when you say hello, it's like hello, like it's twice. You know.
It's weird. I turned my my call volume down and everything. So
Yeah, it looks like it's probably your webcam or whatever you're using on your computer or phone because you're talking and your voice is just a little bit ahead of your video. Not much, but a little bit.
okay, because I'm just doing this right for my phone. So
Yeah, no problem. What do you got cooking?
well,
Oh, is it my
so let me
turn
just
now?
flip the camera over.
Now, Will's going to show us what's in the garage.
Oh, fine. How do you know that I'm not working on
Right, so we got
something?
this 345 here. That's getting done. The clutch was a fight to get off.
Oh, that's cool.
Well, at least you got it off.
I measured
What do you?
right there, and so I'll be able to just get a cheap socket and modify it to make a tool.
Yeah, in a pinch, I've used channel lock, the handles from a channel lock, and then a wrench in between them, and just pried them off. That's all.
Okay. Well, I had to heat it up too with the propane torch.
Wow.
I had to heat propane torch.
I hope you didn't wreck the seal then, Will.
Underneath.
Oh, I don't see
I
any
would not trust
distortion
that
on the
seal then.
seal.
Well, I do a pressure vac test while it's apart.
Yeah.
That's a clean saw.
Oh.
Did it come in like that way? Will clean?
What was that?
Did it come in clean like that, or did you have to take it all apart?
No, I washed it in the parts washer.
What do you use for
Because
solder?
this thing was. I just use I've had the blue parts washer stuff in the parts washer now for forever. I forgot what it's called because it's so I've been using it long.
I just put the link up again, so if anyone else wants to join us.
Oh, by the way, guys, this 280 is
Color.
Yeah, if someone wants to jump up, I'll jump down for sure.
Will, is that heated or just regular room temperature solvent?
Just room temperature. My dad actually his toolboxes yesterday to bring down to his house. So now I've got to, he and I are gonna work on cleaning up the garage and everything. So I bought a box to put in up here.
Cool. I tell you, people yell about Harbor Freight and all this. I like some of their toolboxes. Those U.S. General boxes. Those are pretty nice.
I was at get
I'll tell you, I got
a Husky one from this Home
I don't know
Depot.
if the Mister has any on his YouTube channel. He's got to have them on his YouTube channel, but he's got
I like mine too.
Yeah, he's got a big Snap-on box, the one at work, but one of his side compartments is actually a Harbor Freight. And that I got him a couple years back, and he loves the darn thing. He's a diehard Snap-on, guy, but when it comes to this one side piece, we couldn't find it anywhere, and he loves it, and it's holding up pretty true. But it was hard to find, like some of their components that go with the Snap-on boxes that configure, they're hard to find. I had to search high and low for it.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna probably just head right to the go back to YouTube, get off of this because I'm kind of wanting to go inside now.
All right, well, that's all right. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, but I'll be back. I'll be on the stream on YouTube though.
All right. We'll see. A comment if you want. And then there were 3. Who else is coming
Take
up?
care.
Come on.
If you need that clutch, okay?
Let's see. I never heard of someone having to heat it though. Have you, Matt? Why would you have to heat it? Tim, they're closing the borders in Georgia. Uh-oh. Well, Connecticut, we got our official letters today saying that we're officially, one of these, contractors that has to be here. So we have a lot of people in my plant in Connecticut that live in New York, New Jersey, Rhode Island, Pennsylvania, all the way up to Maine, and some of them are getting stopped. So they handed out the letters today to the supervisors to print out for the guys that needed it. So they can hand it with their badge to a police officer or constable, and they have to let them by.
Yeah, the Mister's been bringing that to work with him they gave it to us in New York about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. He hasn't been stopped with it, but I'm sure it's coming. But the big issue at work today, I thought he was coming home real early today, and he ended up staying. They're on lockdown in the shop where if a driver drops a truck, they can't drive into the shop. The drivers have to leave the truck outside of the shop, and that's it. But one of the trucks that came into the shop today was that of someone who was tested positive.
Oh, wow. How'd you learn that?
Yeah, exactly.
How did they learn that?
The shop supervisor was aware of it.
Oh, wow.
That's not supposed to happen. Like, even if you're in an essential shop, that's not supposed to be permitted. And so they said absolutely not. The truck was left alone, not touched, and they put a sign on it. And they actually have a service that's coming sometime this evening or tomorrow to clean the truck first.
Wow.
And they were told not to go near it.
Wow. Hey, Stanley.
Hey, there I am.
What's going on, Stanley?
Just messing around.
What kind of bird is that, Stanley?
That's a conure. I call him Chet because whenever he hears a chainsaw, he goes nuts. He can bark like a dog, too.
Oh, okay.
If anybody ever wondered what Chip looks like, here he is.
Well, I
Chip,
remember
you want to?
you had a chip on your shoulder. Now we can see him.
I'll go get my Kanye.
Oh, you got the same kind of bird, Matt? Because we could always hear
Yeah.
Matt's bird in the background when he does his vids.
Well, all I have to do is
I didn't realize they
I
were
don't-
the same.
bark him. Because he barks, and then the dog barks, and then,
Aw.
well,
Now, how old is that one, Stanley?
he's about a year old. And
Oh, wow.
I broke my hip at work. I'm a golf car mechanic. I work for EasyGo. I'm a
Mhm.
service technician. And I usually take care of like 3,500 golf cars. But I
Wow.
slipped on a patch of ice at work. But you have to realize I've been working for like 45 years.
Mhm.
Okay, until I got hurt. Oh, goodness sakes. He's got one too that loves.
Oh, he's sweet.
How old is yours, Matt?
25. This is Polly.
Oh, cutie. Aw,
He said Chip was 1.
what a
But
cutie.
he was. I got him. I got him because I was.
Yep. 25.
Very cute.
It took me a couple. It took him stop biting my lip off.
Oh,
Now he just follows me around all day long.
aw.
Yours is an older bird, isn't it, Matt?
Now, Matt, was yours that color too, or does it stay the same color its whole life?
Same color. Polly's lost some feathers because she was plucking. But so she's supposed to be mostly green with the black head.
Aw. What a sweetie.
But there's a
Matt, do
number
you
of
have a
different
cat?
Yeah, I have a cat too.
And the cat
Polly,
gets along with
so
it?
it's Polly, you know, like. Yeah, they have an understanding.
I'd rather pet my bird than my chihuahua. He just don't like anybody.
Aw.
And I'm good to him because if I can hold my bird all the time, I mean, the bird just. Well, mine likes to drink wine. I don't know about yours, but he
Wow.
drinks like pizza and beer. I call him my little, well, he just, I'm just
Polly
glad he
has
doesn't lip anymore.
Besides pulling your ears, Dad.
Polly's
he's
had
been-
a few seizures,
Aw.
That's
and we don't
scary.
know exactly why. And seizures she had. I gave her a little bit of wine one day years ago, and she had a seizure. And so basically, we make sure she has no alcohol. I was
Oh.
nearly divorced before I got married, you know, type of thing, for that.
I don't give my, I keep them away from everything. I'll throw them a pizza crust once in a while, but in the morning we get fresh banana and apple and strawberry.
Oh, cutie.
You got to realize I also used to have a blue and gold macaw. And that thing was like a chicken with 4-foot wingspan. And that thing would fly through the house.
Yeah, they're big. The hyacinth.
Love
Yeah,
spaghetti.
they're the hyacinth.
I taught him to say, I'm a cannibal whenever I gave him a chicken wing, or because he liked to chew up a chicken bone. I taught him to say, I'm a cannibal.
Are you a cannibal, Polly?
I show him a chicken bone, he'd say, I'm a
Have a
cannibal.
look. I'm gonna. Old bird. Okay, Polly.
Now, do you guys put the cover over the cage at night to let them sleep in the dark?
Every night. He's got a bedtime. Actually, it's kind of late right now. Usually about
Aw.
bedtime.
Cute.
Mom,
And he
So
don't
where's
like-
Jason, Chris? Still on the top?
I would not be surprised if that poor man is upstairs sleeping.
Ah.
He was so tired before. I mean, I swear to God, you would have thought he inhaled his dinner before. He was eating so fast. He was starving and smelled so bad. So hungry, tired, and needed a shower. And I also gave him a little scare last night. So we discussed, I've always had like migraines my whole life, but I just recently in the last couple years have had like fainting spells with them. And
Yep.
it's actually happened like while I was teaching, things like that. And they discovered about, I would say a little less than a year ago, that it's an actual like seizure, but it's brought on by a migraine.
Like narcolepsy though, or what?
Oh God, no. It's actually a nerve that runs up my like back of my brain cell, and it causes the migraine, but it triggers a seizure, and it doesn't happen often. Usually, it's due to a lot of stress, lack of sleep, things like that. And
Like being on these streams. Yeah.
yeah. But I do have to take something in the morning and at night, and it'll be for like the rest of my life, but it can control it. But
There you go.
I think with everything going on with all of this, I mean, I'm basically working from 5 a.m. The other night I didn't go to sleep till almost midnight, and I'm constantly worried about him now and everything too. So last night I had one. So he's got that on his head now, and he's working around the clock. So it's a lot. But I'm telling you, the one thing that hasn't stopped, people are not stopping buying mowers.
And it's just started up here because the grass is just starting to grow good now.
Oh yeah. I mean, literally, he wasn't even home for like a half hour, and that I did hear. His phone was going nonstop. So, but they all want the same thing: red mowers. Red is the color.
Oh, there you go. So Stanley, are you working on anything?
Oh yeah, I've got a Craftsman 20 horse right now. I pulled the mower deck off and I'm painting it, and I got to replace the spindles. I got a good deal on it, and I got to adjust the valves on it. It wants to not turn over and lock up when you turn it over.
Mm-hmm.
That's not. I'm used to working with overhead valves, Easy Go golf cars.
Yep.
And like, if you do 50 of them a week, but lawnmowers, okay, but these chainsaws, I'm telling you, I've got a whole pile.
I
of
used
them
to be
in my
scared to
bed.
death of them up until a few years ago. But now, once I just really learned about them and the theory and everything, and watching Maddie's videos and YouTube, it's really simple. Hey, one thing that happened this week to me, I don't know if you guys, even like Chris and Jason, those guys, people now calling me up to do service are asking me, because of Corona, am I still doing service?
Mm.
And I'd never seen that for like the past month or so. But now this week, almost every customer is saying, will you accept cash? Do you want me to wear gloves? So it's really getting around,
Yeah. I would say for the most part, what he's telling me over here, he hasn't been getting too much of that. If they want the service, they've been still contacting. When he goes to make the sale, though, he's always still so surprised that, here people are pretty much keeping their distance. And he always still comes back so surprised by that. But it's like, buddy, you should.
Well, did you see Henry's video the other day, Henry, where they're giving him the money in plastic bags?
Yeah. Well, everyone's giving their money in, envelopes now here. And I told him, I said, we're not touching anything for a while. It lives on money for a certain amount of time. It lives on steel even for up to 4 days. I mean,
Yep.
No money in the world is worth that. Thank you. So it's not like anyone's spending it in a couple of days. So
No, but I'm not used to using plastic a lot, except for like gasoline. You know,
Oh,
like if I go
hear
get a
you.
if I go get a hamburger or something, I'm not gonna use a card. You know, it's
Yeah,
just.
yeah.
But what I'm gonna do, there's a Duchess around here I go to for like a
Oh,
breakfast
that's
sandwich.
right.
I love
Okay.
Duchess, but I told the guy the other day, I said, "Give me $25 on one of your cards," and
Oh,
now I'm
that's
just
smart.
using that every day. Yeah, because I mean they're all wearing gloves and masks. I mean it's like a
Yeah.
doctor handing you your breakfast sandwich. You know.
So here, there's no like our versions of like a Duchess, like they won't let you go in at all anymore. Like
Oh,
you would
really?
yeah, you'd have to like order it and they'd bring it outside to you.
Oh wow.
And so you basically would have to pay like using some kind of card. So yeah, they're not taking any forms of just cash payment for things like that. So
It's funny at work where I am, all our cash registers now, they're all moved to the side and all the readers for cards are like right there. So when I walked in the other day and actually had a cash on me, she's like, give me a look. And I'm like, what? She goes, you don't have plastic? And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, I said, you can't take the cash? She's like, no, I can take it, but you're the first person in like 3 days who's had cash. Because
Yeah.
everyone's just, bleep with their phone, Apple
Yeah.
Pay, and all this other stuff.
Yeah. I mean, for the most part, I mean, I have everything here. And really he doesn't need it. I mean, he leaves the house. I leave him with a coffee, his liquids for the day. Like he really wants for nothing, you know? I know he still will go into a 7-Eleven. I think 7-Eleven's like the only place by us that you can physically still go inside.
Oh, wow.
But 7-Eleven's always been like a different creature. So, you never know what you're going to get in there. So,
and some of the restaurants around here, even like self-serve coffee, there's an attendant now that'll make it for you. They don't even want you to touch the coffee and the sugar and all that. So,
yeah, yeah.
Stanley, where are you from geographically?
I'm in Pickle, Ohio.
Okay.
Right.
Is that
middle of the state.
north, south, east,
Right.
west? Where's that?
It's right in the middle of the state, right off of I-75.
Okay.
About 25 miles north of Dayton.
Okay. Yep. I've been to Dayton before. I was out at Kodak out there.
Exit 89 off of 75.
Yep.
The farm's out in Lockington, which is about 10 miles. It's easier to go the back way. But I live in the city. But I can still do as much work here with my little shed because I got like a couple $100,000 worth of tools sitting in my Snap-on toolbox. Because when I broke my
There you
hip,
go.
I pulled my. When I broke my hip, I pulled my toolbox. Why let it sit there until I get until I'm ready to go back? And then I'll have to kick
What's that?
somebody else. I'm not sure what I don't know if I'm going to go back to doing golf cars because I broke my hip pushing a golf car into the shop. But
But I mean, are you technically retired though, Stanley, or is this something you have to do?
oh yeah, they retired me right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've worked so many years, and it's the first time I was ever hurt.
Yep.
I mean, I had a cut on my finger.
It's funny when we have guys that go out in the winter, we tell them they're going to see Dr. Winteroff. And then we have guys that get caught in the summer, get hurt, they go see Dr. Summeroff. So whether the cut is this big or this big, they like to take their time off, so they go see the off doctors.
No,
So
you know
the
what?
time off.
I take a piece of paper towel and black duct tape it up until I get home where I can fix it. I'm old school, I guess.
My father-in-law was the same way. He was so afraid of blood, his fingers had scars all over them because whenever he was in the soda industry, tap soda. So whenever he got a cut, he put duct tape on it. But over the years, his fingers got like very scarred, and you could see bumps all over from where he didn't want to get a stitch.
Mm-hmm. Ken, next time the mister's around, ask him about electrical tape and sticks. Those are his favorite ways to splint them.
Oh yeah,
Except
absolutely.
the last time it cost him about almost 10 stitches.
Wow.
I said, I know you're a Boy Scout, but still.
Yeah,
Crazy.
what Matthew needs to do is get one of those little metal first aid kits, screw it on the side of his toolbox. Because
Yeah.
one of the guys come up to my toolbox and goes, "Man, you're always cutting your fingers." And he had this little metal, first aid kit, and he took some sheet metal screws and screwed it right onto my snap-on box. He goes, "Here, now quit your bitching." It's like, you guys, well, when you work in a shop with a bunch of guys, well, golf car guys are different than regular. Well, when you work in a shop that's called sports equipment, you not only have golf cars, which I handled all the custom made jobs,
Hmm.
and all the, they buy like 25 at a time. Some of them are for campground special. The better running ones, we would the bodies off them, go right down, do the motors, paint the frames, put lift kits on them. That's what I'm used to doing, because I can do
Mhm.
50 golf cars in a week, sometimes
Yep.
100. I'm wondering, depending on what they need. If they're just getting tune-ups,
Yep.
because some of them they rent out. When you got 3,500 golf cars, and you supply NASCAR and PGA golf car, the golf people,
Mhm.
it's like, I'm just I got a lift in my toolbox, and it's like, all right, you just brought in 100 of them. How many do you need this week? And you just get a work order, start going through them.
Now, Stanley, is that mostly gas or propane?
What's that?
The fuel.
Or golf? Oh, they're gas and electric.
No
I
propane?
See, well, some plants, but those are like special orders. But I'm the guy that makes the special ones for like the lowrider ones to go out underneath the solar panels. I'll make a work vehicle
Yep.
that'll go underneath on that guy. But those ones are like 25,000 a piece. They usually go to like California. Oh, I can talk all day about golf cars, but I want to learn how to do chainsaws. No,
I know, because he was sharpening a chain. It's pretty loud.
out at the farm shop is set up to do starters
You
and
and me,
alternators.
Stanley, we're going to be doing.
What's that?
I use you guys.
My dad has the 1960. Whatever.
I muted you guys. You guys still heard me?
I just started.
I heard a little bit of it, Matty. When you were grinding, then
You
I
guys
hit
hear-
mute over here too. Yeah. When you started grinding, it started getting loud. Then I muted you, and then I must have hit unmute.
Well, I muted the grind. So I hope I didn't mess you up.
No. Stanley, what did you want to learn exactly? Do you have
No,
anything in
I
particular
muted
that
you.
you want to show you? No, I know.
But I guess it didn't work.
Matty, you muted me, Matty. I know. No, but Stanley, what did you want to learn? Any particular models, brands, or anything like that we could help you with?
Well, if I'm going to do them, I'm going to get a set of pullers like Maddie sells. I'll buy a set of them.
Mhm.
When I was doing golf.
Do you have any now, though? Anything that you want to work on? Any particular brand?
Oh, I've got a few. Yeah. I've got two 028 AVs. One I just put the fuel tank on, and I had to go online to get that. But I don't know if I want to go and start working on those old steel chainsaws, because you can't get parts for them.
I tell you one thing though,
Steel,
one tool that helped me a great deal, Stanley, was a pressure vacuum tester. I bought the Mighty Vac. You could get on sale on eBay for probably $50, and it's got pressure and vac. Great tester.
I do that for golf cars.
Do you? Okay.
I've got all that. I just don't have the pullers for the chain.
Oh, I got you.
I've got all, I mean, believe me, I've got, if I needed one tool, I bought the whole damn set.
Well, 40 years, it sounds like you
covered.
should, yeah.
Well, when your dad was a Chrysler mechanic and all he ever used was Snap-on tools.
There you go.
And we had Snap-on tools in the rebuild shop. I want to tell you why I don't want to do starters and alternators. Because the rotors and everything you get comes from China nowadays. They don't last.
Well, you don't know what it's made of. You know, we use the term Chinesium because you really don't know what the metal is that you're getting from them.
If I build a starter generator for a Ford tractor years ago, it was 15, 20 years old when I got it. I'd put new bearings in it, and chances are to clean up the armature or the rotor, whatever it might be, or replace the field coils. I know how to do all that stuff.
Yep.
Bushings.
Now, do you have a growler, Stanley?
A what?
A growler for doing armatures.
No, I have a lathe. And then
No. A growler is an electronic magnetic device that you use for checking the fields and all.
I have ohm meters and all that. I know how to do all that. I can charge it up, and yeah. My dad's shop is set up for that. But my dad passed away like 30 years ago.
Wow.
Okay. The shop is still there. Tools are still
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Oh,
And-
cool. So, yeah, like a museum.
Yeah. And there's still parts on the shelf, but
Oh, Stanley's
Everyone's-
frozen. Oh.
everyone's phasing out all the old stuff. And, I'm used to working on,
Yep.
like, my parts came from J&L down in Cincinnati.
Stanley, you're frozen.
Excuse me?
You told me I have a 1948 valve grinder and I still use it and it works great.
Yeah, I know how to use valve. I know I'm a machinist by trade. Journeyman. I can read blueprints, and I can build, and I can weld. That's like you guys are talking about. Oh, I just need a TIG welder. Well, I'm used to doing stainless steel and thin steel.
I can't really
I
hear
built-
anybody. Everybody's breaking up.
I built vibratory parts feeders. I'm the guy that made,
Oh, okay.
the steel inserts in the 6-horse, what is it, Briggs and Stratton, on the head for it's a hardened valve seat.
Yeah.
I'm the guy that made that machine that pressed them in.
Okay.
Yeah, down in Texas. That's where they come from. I worked for Multi-Feed for a long time, and we
Okay.
serviced any nuts, bolts, you name it, Ford, General Motors, Chryslers, all the it's like I made the machine that does the Cobra engine for the Mustangs.
Yep.
See, they run that 302 line, and then they needed a different Campbell or bushings. So I made the machine that when they would start running the Cobras down the line, because they use the same line. Okay.
Was that Romeo engine plant, Stanley?
No, that's Cleveland engine plant number 1.
Mm-hmm.
That's where they make that engine. They used to make the 306 there too, but they took that 306 line and sent it to China.
That was
I
one
don't
of the best engines ever made, the 306.
I'm going, this line it's old, but these are the best running engines. They sold it because they wanted the V. All the motors were going to be shorter, and they could take the V6 and put it into the pickup trucks. They could make the pickup truck smaller. Okay, because you know the straight six, how long they would fill up a V8 housing, but a little compact truck, you couldn't fit that motor into it. So they took that 306.
I had one of those.
Go ahead. I had one on a wood chipper.
Ken's frozen.
Yep, everybody's frozen. We lost Pate. Uh-oh. How about now?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you. You're choppy. Everything's choppy though.
Yeah, it's all choppy tonight for some reason. I don't know. Everybody's on, I guess. But you said, Stanley, you talked about part feeders?
Yeah, vibratory part feeders.
Yeah, I used to design those too. There's a company up in Hartford here called Parts Feeders Incorporated.
I can roll and bend steel. You know the vibratory Centron units?
Oh, yeah. Like
put
roller coaster.
Stainless steel bowl on them.
Yeah, then you for the rivets, we use them for rivets.
Well, they wanted me to make. I'm pretty good at it. Okay, I can roll and bend stainless steel. That's why you guys are going, oh, I just need a TIG welder. I have a welder to do this stuff. Well, I used to get stuff from all over the country sent to my bench so I could weld it. And I just had my TIG welder, but I also had 500 amp torpedo Lincoln welders.
Tombstone?
Well, these were like 1940s, man. It sounded like a jet engine when you start them up.
Wow. Yep.
Old ones. Okay, but you could run half-inch rod all day long if you were doing thick stuff. But I would make the mezzanines, the stairs, and then I would make the sound enclosures for the vibratory units, and I would set it up in our shop, and then we do a parts count, whatever we were doing, nuts, bolts, washers. But I'll tell you what, on those lawnmower motors, the little valve seats that got pressed in, the hardened valve seats.
Yep.
You had two different sizes. And it had a little edge. So you had to have everything set up just perfect. So when it rolled up from the bottom of the bowl,
had to flip.
if they were sitting the wrong way, you had to knock them off. If they were sitting the right way, they would go right on out. And then they would go. Well, you understand what I work with engineer. I used to correct the engineer's blueprints.
Tool makers always do. They always do.
And I'd say, I think you got a problem right here. And I'd show him exactly where it was. And I'd say, what do you think? Maybe my math is wrong. And he'd say, oh, man, you just saved us a whole bunch of money.
Sure.
And the one job was supposed to have hydraulic cylinders on it. And I'm looking, and I'm going, man, you ordered all air. And it was supposed to have hydraulic. Because it was going
big difference.
Yeah. I said, are you sure you want to order all these air cylinders? Because they'd come out with a great big roll a big roll. And they set it on my workbench. And the guy's name was Greg Green. I don't know if he's still around, but he worked for Multi-Feed. And we were in Michigan. But after the 90s, everyone, they start sending everything out of the country,
Yeah.
and then we're scarce. So I had to change, but I could still weld. And that's one thing. You know how I learned to weld? At lunchtime.
Yep.
I'd eat a sandwich, and I'd say, "Hey, I need to learn how to do this welding." You know how many kids I've taught how to weld? You can't even. You give a kid a drill bit, and you'd say, "Oh, this ought to last you all day." They'll bring it back in an hour and say, "Oh, it won't cut no more. It's dull." And I'm looking at them. I said, "Well, sharpen it." Oh, you
And they
can
look
sharpen-
at you crazy, right?
Yeah, yeah. And I'm working at a plant, and my foreman comes up and he goes, "Oh man, we're making." I was working on Humvees. I was making the radio brackets for them, and they needed a little 1/8 inch hole drilled in some 1/2 inch round stock. And so he goes, he hands me a whole pile of drills. He goes, "If you need more, let me know." And I looked at him and I'm going, I only need one unless I break
There you go.
it. Give me two. And then I gave him the whole pile back, and actually I sharpened them. He goes,
Mhm.
"Well, how many are left out of all these drills?" I said, "I only used one all night long." And I used the same drill for about 2 weeks before I did some, well, part kind of shifted and I broke it. But he goes, he just couldn't understand how I could make a drill bit last that long. I said, "Well, I'm a machinist and I know how to sharpen. I don't need a fancy jig or nothing. That's why I can sharpen a chainsaw. I know how to use a file. Matter of fact, you got to see my file. But I can do a lot of stuff, okay? But cracking the case open on a chainsaw scares the shit out of me.
That's all right.
I don't think that's cuss, but it really does.
It's funny though, Stanley. You talk about drill bits, and I remember that's my background, Stanley. I went to school for mechanical engineering for 2 years, and then I got out and I was an engineering technician for a number of years doing bearing design for Barden Bearing. Okay, but we did assembly equipment, we did molds, we did dies, we did everything.
I made all the new bowls for American Axle in Detroit.
I've been there. I've been to American Axle.
Well, do you know where they
Shame for them.
put the bearings into the axles?
Yep.
They're up on the mezzanine. All those bowls up there, I remade because they changed the and I made all the tracks that go down into the line.
Now, were those all nylon coated?
Well, I don't know what they were then, but that was in 1987. No, 97. That was in 97. I worked at American Axle. I was down there for a long time, redoing that whole thing. But
they're pretty.
I don't know what you did for them. Heck, we could have run paths, but they had the old rheostat controllers for the bowls, and I upgraded everything to the new.
Oh, there. Everybody back?
Yeah, I'm here.
Do you remember
I'm
a company
here,
called Natco?
Who?
Natco, National Automatics. They did automatic machines. Natco in Detroit. They were one of the original companies that made crankshaft machines, engine block boring machines, all that stuff back from the turn of the century. Well, one of the first engineers I worked with was a retiree from Natco, and he taught me all about machine tool. And it was just a wonderful man, you know.
I worked with a guy, Bill Cody, and he was like 78 years old when I met him, and I worked with him for almost 10 years.
Yep.
And I just picked his brain on everything. I mean,
Absolutely.
I learned how to do everything with a dial indicator. And that's like when Matt is dialing in one of his
Cases.
heads that he's doing. I said, man, I just make me a fixture and put it right on my lathe, and then I would just touch off,
Yeah.
square it up, and
Yeah.
then bring it into the size that I wanted.
Oh, yeah, you just
Stanley,
make a mandrel, stick it in, and that's
Stanley,
it.
it drives you crazy watching me work.
It does, especially when you're doing it on a mill. I'm going, oh man, why don't you just take a dial indicator, get it level, and then take a flywheel and smooth the top of it off. You don't need a fancy.
Yeah, but he's got the rod on there. The whole rod is still on there.
Well,
So he fills it up with toilet paper and clay.
yeah, I'm going,
And Bondo and duct tape and twisty ties.
man. Well, I know a few things, and I'm looking. I said, yeah, I could do that. But then I'm trying to learn. Yeah, I'm looking at how you guys port things, and I'm going, well, I've got all my die grinders. I do. I have die grinders that they're all air operated, but I like Maddie's dental tools that he uses.
Mhm.
They're a little bit finer.
Oh, yeah.
Because mine are for like, I use mine for cutting holes in a dash when I'm putting a stereo or running switches in a dash of a golf cart. But all your
Stanley,
yeah,
there's a very good reason why I do the Bridgeport the way that I do, and I know it drives some people crazy to see what I'm doing, but you need to have the crank installed when you do it. You don't have much choice, because if you don't have the crank installed and then you go and install, you do everything, you go install the crank, well, guess what? Something's going to shift. So that's why you have to kind of
I
have
know.
it.
I'm saying that you're doing it wrong. I'm just saying, I'm watching you do stuff, and I'm going, I wonder if you could use a fly cutter on that.
Mm.
Just let it off.
But Matt, let me ask you a question though. You're saying it's going to move, but isn't there dowel pins holding it together?
Yeah.
Aren't there
but
locator pins?
there
How's it
are-
going to shift if it's got dowel pins?
You're going to have a few things to shift. Why risk that?
No, what I'm saying is like when you're doing a head and you're taking 10 thousandths off or 20 thousandths, whatever you might be doing. I would do it a little bit different, but my way might be wrong. Your way, that's why I watch you. I'm going, well, I might do that different, but when you're porting something, I'm watching you and I'm learning. No, I'm serious. I'm learning. And when you're
some of the cylinder heads, you can use a ply cutter and go right across the top, like you're saying. But some of them you can't. I'll show you.
Yeah, the ones that have the portion of it that sticks into the cylinder base, the case, you can't. There you go. Yeah, you can't go straight across. Yeah,
you can go straight across, which is why ideally you put these on the lathe. If you're cutting this dimension down, then you really want this on the lathe indicated, preferably in the 4-jaw chuck. The way to do it. I like that, but that is the way to do it. There's no question about it.
I'm going to get a little rotary table and do it on my miller with a fly cutter.
You could. Once you get it set.
I like the miller better. I love using the miller,
Well, see, my lathe that I have at the shop is like 1945. And
does it run true?
Yeah, it does. It still does.
My lathe is 1945. I got a South Bend 9C. It still has the War Board label on it. It's approved by the War Board from 1945. I still have mine, and it runs within half a thou.
Well, even if it's a little sloppy, you can adjust for that, because I'm used to running bridge. And some of our Bridgeports were from, heck, they were 30, 40 years old, and all the waves were worn out on the table.
Yep.
So you would just either put a shim underneath it if you're doing something really good. But also, I had, like, when I was working in Florida, I had 5 Bridgeports sitting there, but they were like, we made impact absorbers for M1 tanks. and I would do all the brake press. And they go, where'd you learn all this stuff from? I said, well, I'm a machinist, you know. I've had to bend and break on old iron workers, but I can also do precision parts. But I can run a lathe, and only thing I don't like doing is cutting threads. Oh, I can make.
When you gonna buy my kit, Stan?
Oh, then I'll master them at my shop.
You got to give him the senior citizen discount, Maddie.
Tomorrow's payday, but I got to figure out how to get a hold of you offline. I mean, away from here, because I wanted to order your toolkit. And that chainsaw that
Here,
you
we'll
were
put up the email.
working on yesterday.
You can just write.
Well, I would rather buy one that's already made and have it ready, because around here, when a storm comes, if you have a chainsaw that'll run a 28-inch blade, you can clear a lot of storm damage up in a hurry. And I have a wood cutting guy that I work with, and I have a pickup. Well, I just been gathering up stuff, you know. I just need one big chainsaw for clearing up storm damage. It's really not going to be run all the time, but you want to have something that's got a lot of balls, so you can go in there and say, okay, let's clear this driveway and get it cleaned up. And then, you know, you might be working with 3 or 4 other guys.
1961.
But when a tornado comes through Ohio and it hits, you know, a chainsaw, like Matt's making on his bench right now, like trying to look over his shoulder. All right, how much? You know, when
Stanley,
I
if you
know
look
I
at
can
the
make,
comments, I put Maddie's email. The first one's no good. It's the second one.
So, well, Stanley, what do you? I mean, you know, what do you want? And I can do whatever you want. The 288 that I had on the whole junkyard has already cut that.
no, 80 to 90 horse chainsaw. I've got that Echo 590, but that's for, you know, linen and cutting the small stuff. But when these big trees, we've got a lot of big trees. I mean, they're like 4 foot across. And I'm going, all right, I can put a 20-inch blade on it. Then I can start on the other side and cut down. But I'd rather cut down on the back side of the log and then work my way towards myself and bring it all the way to the ground. And the 580 is only going to do, you know, how hard do you want to work something? You want something that's got some balls and it'll cut right through it? Yeah, okay. Do I want
So
to
you need a 394, but you need one that you can start.
Oh, look, I have a Bowflex machine set up in my living room. Well, I had hip surgery, so I said, well, I got to get in shape, and I was so beat down from that hip that I was weak as fuck. I couldn't do shit. Now I'm using, you know what I'm pulling. I'm using like I'm pulling a chainsaw. I'm using 90 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah. I got my guns going back, but you know, I work out 4 or 5 times a day. You know what really bums me out about this whole pandemic and everything else is I should have my teeth right now. When I was going in to have the molds made, after everything was all healed up, my dentist office calls me and cancels. And then you said you lost your job. I'm going, yeah, but you don't. At least you got top teeth, you know. And I'm going, son of a bitch. I don't really have to go anywhere, and I'm not worried about money. You know, I got more work out in my little shop. You know, if I fix a lawnmower and I paint it up, and all right, I did a little snapper. It's just one of those little rear mower deals. I cleaned it up and waxed it. It ran good. I mowed the lawn, and I come in. I parked it right in front of the house. before I even got down with my fresh beverage of ice cold water, some lady had stopped out in front and says, "Is that for sale?" So whatever I have, if I fix it, I can't park out front if I want to keep it. But if I have a push mower and I've got like, I don't know, I got a pile of them out back. I got weed whack. I've got all kinds of little things to do. But the chainsaw is what I want to do. I want to learn how to do the Husqvarnas and the Echoes and stuff like that. All right, I can do carburetors and whatnot, but unless it's got, I don't, those clam motors, what do they call that? Where
Clamshells.
the, yeah, clamshell motors. Most of the time, if they're blown up, what do? Go online and get a new motor? Put a new motor
yeah,
in?
most
Are
of the
they
time, if shell stuff is blown up, you're going to be getting a new saw. Just for most people, it's not worth it to put the time into put it back together. The DIY crowd is a little bit of a different. The DIY crowd is an oddity in the world. Now with the advent of the internet and everything, you've got DIY like never before. So we really have an odd situation at this point in time where people are starting to, take on projects themselves and fix them. When previously it wasn't worth it, and now the big companies are trying to push for even more of a divide because they want to sell the new. I firmly believe Steel and Husky want to sell saws. They really don't care about the.
I was going to invest in a steel chainsaw, but how long is one of those electronic carburetors going to last? Until they're out for a few years and all the bugs are worked out of them, I'm not going to spend that money. I'd rather get something where I can dust it with a screwdriver, and rebuild it myself.
Me too. I'm right there with you. I'm really not into the electronic carbs, but then again, I don't own a tree service. So if you have a tree service and you absolutely need something to work and don't want to be screwing with it, then get an electronic saw, and then once a year you're going to be replacing it. And that's cheap, really, in the great scheme of things. But that's not me.
If I'm only going to run my chainsaw a couple times a year, I can run it hard for a week or two, or if I get a couple loads of firewood, cut up, 10, 15, 20 cords, and for that. The old 28s are perfect for that, and the old 31s, steels, the old ones. You can just cut logs all day long with them, as long as you keep your chain sharp.
And even Stanley, the 28s and the 31s, those tend to fall into the category of not usually worth it to rebuild. Also, the 031s, and I know that there are some guys who really like them. But those definitely fall into the category of kind of a pain in the neck to rebuild, and they're really worth it.
That's why I bought the Echo, that 500, 590.
590 is a popular, it really is.
And I've seen a lot of good reviews on it, but I only ran like half a tank of fuel through it, and because actually they're good on fuel. And I sat out there for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, and I'm going, man, this thing's got to run out of gas pretty soon. I was sitting there idling. I'd warm it up, then I'd let it cool down, then I'd start it up, and run it. But I didn't cut anything with it yet. Well, I nicked a log. I have a pile of logs out back. I just sort of like cut a wedge off of one log. And I'm saying, okay, it's got enough power. I'm not scared of it. Well, after you cut firewood, just log after log after log after log, when you pick up something. But when you have storm damage and you need to remove a whole bunch of trees at once, you need something But you can just go in there and tear the crap out of a log. You know, if it's laying across someone's driveway, just get it out of the way, you know, and go to the next property, and the next property, and the next property. That's the chainsaw I need. And the Echo 590 is big enough to do that kind of stuff, but it's going to take you twice as long. And you're not going to. So what if I have to run my chainsaw 3 times a year, but I make $5,000? Okay. And the chainsaw lasts me, I take good care of my equipment. So if I get something that's rebuilt and it's in good shape, it's got plenty of power, you know, I can maintain it and keep it running good. But you guys are already in and you're building them, and you know how to get the most power. You know, you guys are like the gurus of chainsaw gurus. And Matt will give you a pretty smile if you give him time.
I'm not remotely close. I'm not remotely close.
I'm messing with you. No, but you know, that's what I'm looking for. 80 to 90 cc, you know. But I don't want one of those. I don't know about a Chinese chainsaw. Why get one if you gotta take it apart, put new bearings in it, put a new crank in it? And Matt's already put a new crank and bearings and seals, you know, made sure the inner workings of the chainsaw is good. Plus you ported it and, you know, whatever else, you worked your magic on it. Okay. That's the chainsaw I want to pull out when when the storm damage comes out. 28-inch bar.
Yep.
You know, and just go out there and just tear the trees up and get them out of the way until, you know, that way people can, you know, move on and carry on. And when you know people that are in the business and they know you got a chainsaw like that, they say, hey, bring out old Yeller or whatever. But I don't have any Max. You can't work on them anymore. My uncle worked at a Town and Country Hardware in Westland, Michigan. No, Garden City. And they sold Toros and they sold McCulloch chainsaws. My first chainsaw I ever got was a little Mini Mac 10. I was like 11 years old. It had like a 10-inch bar on it. And then after about a couple years, it's sad that we didn't run it. So I learned how to put revalves and how to rebuild motors from my uncle that worked at the Town and Country Hardware. His name was Hank Shebor. And he worked at Town and Country Hardware for like 40 years. He ran the small engine shop. Now, Uncle Hank's been dead for 20 years.
20 years?
But I remember, you know, I grew up with him. And he taught me how to do those. I can actually, I know McCulloch chainsaws pretty good. But who's got McCulloch anymore? Once in a while, I'll find one online and they say, oh, it still runs, but it needs reed valves. All right, where are you going to get the reed valves from? Make them yourself?
We need to get you into the 394. We need to, very simple. We need to get you cracking crankcases, putting bearings in, and get you into 394. You can do it. It's possible.
Matt, you got to do a show dedicated to Stanley where you could talk about getting him a 394 in a kit. So, guys, I'm going to cut it off here because my signal's getting all bouncy. I'm losing everybody. So, I want to say thank you, Stanley. It was a great show.
Night, Stanley. We'll keep in touch. Okay.
We'll call. I'll retitle this the Stanley Show. All right, and then we'll have you on. But
wait till I get in my shop and I can empty it out and just have my tool shop because I got a lot of cool stuff there. And
no, I look forward to it, Stanley. All right, we'll see you. See you around, guys. Take care, everyone. Thanks for stopping by.
Stay safe.
What do you tell them about the 1961 chainsaw?
Oh, Joey. you understand?